Hello Commanders, welcome to the command table. My name is Matt and I'm going to be taking you through battles 446 through 450 on the journey in Traplight's Battle Legion. Before we get started, if you'd please be so kind as to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want notifications when I drop new videos. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. So let's get into it. 446. Okay, so this one, we have a whole bunch of shield bearers all the way around here. We've got a couple of druids sewn in. We've got 2 stormcallers and a bunch of crystal spires. So my thought was we can save having to deal with the crystal spires until after we've dealt with everything else by forcing everything to our side of the battlefield. So we're going to take care of these stormcallers by using 2 groups of assassins. That's going to resolve that. And then everything else is going to be moving forward. And this group of shield bearers right here is going to clip the top end of these mine shrooms. And that's going to get it started to where they're going to push into those mine shrooms, and that's going to suck everything up from the top and the bottom to converge right here. And then that's going to force them to walk through these entangling roots without having to worry about anything on the top and the bottom. And then I've got my cleanup crew in the back here. This whole thing is designed to buy time to get to Frenzy, where these units really shine. So we've got our Ember Fiend, 2 Arcane Archers, and a Crystal Spire. So that's the whole concept. Kill the ranged units, allow everything else to get sucked in, walk through that, and then my longer range units will be able to clear out the Crystal Spires in the end. Okay, so here we go. Goodbye Stormcallers. And then whatever else the assassins get are just a bonus. Okay, now everything gets sucked into the mine shrooms. That pulls it all right into the center there and forces it to walk through the entangling roots. Anything that doesn't quite get caught in there is the first thing to get hit by the Crystal Spires and the Ember Fiend and the Arcane Archers. So it gets a little dicey there, but not to worry. We pull through. And then there goes everything else. Now everything can run forward and take care of all the other stuff. Now, just a note, Reach 2 is a power stone that's available presently. So hopefully if you're in another season, that doesn't mess this up and you'll still be able to use a similar build. Okay, now brace for impact. Okay, this is kind of a gag build. I'll explain how to do it without doing this if this is too complicated, but brace for impact. Okay, so here, what we're going to do is we're going to take these mine shrooms and we're going to use their own bombs against them. So we've got a bait druid in the back, and we've got a placeholder druid in the front that's going to run right between the bomb bots. There's nothing that's going to conflict with it. There's nothing for it to heal, so it's just going to run forward and hit the wall. Then we've got these 2 mine shrooms here. This one I don't need it. We can get rid of that. But these 2 mine shrooms are perfectly placed to where when these bomb bots hit those, they're going to pop up and land right in the big middle of all of the assassins that are going to be converged right here on this bait druid. So brace for impact. Here it comes. All right, they're all converging on that druid, and poof, they're all dead. So, okay, so just to kind of go over what you could do alternative to this if this is too complicated, or if you don't have level 1 mine shrooms, because that's, I mean, if the assassins hit that, it could cause some problems. So you want to make sure that if you don't have level 1 mine shrooms, this may not be viable. I don't know. What you can do is instead of doing this ridiculous counter, you can put mine shrooms, like actual mine shrooms, in the front. One group should be able to catch both of those, and one group should be able to catch both of those, and even the ones behind. But you're more concerned about maybe just picking a side, or like a top or the bottom, and countering those bomb bots and just letting the other ones run by. Then what you would want to do is put your Thorn Guards kind of in the middle of the map with the Battle Drummer and the Paladin tagged onto it. So that would make it to where all of the assassins would converge on those thorn guards, which as soon as they hit them, they'll reveal themselves, and that'll turn the paladin back around. Make sure that the drummer is attached to the thorn guards, not the paladin, because the paladin will have a tendency to run forward faster than the thorn guards, but she'll turn around once the assassins reveal themselves. So that's another way to go about it. Either that, or you could just stack a whole bunch of mind shrooms in the back and just turn all the assassins. There's also ways to do it with a freezing trap in the back with a crystal spire. They'll all just run after that crystal spire, and just one trigger. So you could do, I've done this before, where you do entangling roots, which kind of slows everything down and delays the approach and allows all of them to converge and be in the radius. And then the first thing that hits that trap will catch all of it, and that'll allow the crystal spire to get it. So those are two other ways that you could do this. But yeah, I just, let's watch that again. That was just glorious. Bloop, poof. So I just appreciated that. I thought I'd share that with you. But yeah, there are some alternatives if you don't want to mess with that. Okay, moving on to 448. Okay, so here we have just flood of righteous defenders and fire knights, and there's a battle drummer tucked in there and right there. So 2 battle drummers and then a whole bunch of fire knights and righteous defenders. So we've got our draining spirits here, and we've just tagged them on to our plague bearers. We're more concerned, we want to actually burn through units quickly rather than spreading the draining spirits out, because you could put them all the way along this front line, and that would provide kind of a low level of damage as everything runs through. But in this particular situation, I thought it was better to just put all of them in one spot in order to burn through whatever is coming through. It's kind of a heavy duty meat grinder rather than spreading it out. Now the 3 entangling roots, because everything's going to run forward before it runs up, that's going to allow all of these units to bunch up and just slowly work their way through. A note is that during this particular era, Enhance 2 is an available power stone, and that slows down everything tremendously. So I don't know if that'll be available to you, but even regular Enhanced stones may do the trick. Now I've got Valkyrie here that's closer to the Plague Bearers than it is to the Arcane Archer. So all I need is 1 Plague Bearer to stay alive. That's going to keep tagging Plague on to everything, which is going to cause it to chain through and slow everything down and do consistent damage. So you're going to have Plague damage, you're going to have Draining Spirit damage, and you're going to have everything just marching slowly into that meat grinder. Once Frenzy pops, they will kill that last Plague Bearer, but by then it's too late. I've got my cleanup crew in the back here to take care of anything that's left, because it's all melee. There's no range. So let's go ahead and let that run. Okay, here goes. Most of the Plague Bearers are going to die very quickly, but all we really need is 1, and that's going to hold that point of gravity to suck everything up. And then soon, the forward push is going to end, and it's going to be a push up. Sorry, I clicked the volume there. So now they're all just marching into that meat grinder, and they're all going to die. It's just a matter of time. You see the plague slowly chaining through there. If you have artifacts, you can use them. I'm not using them. I've got them, but I'm not using them. I'm just trying to do this without them, just in case certain people don't have certain artifacts. So throw on a cauldron or something, and that'll make that even more viable. So yeah, that didn't even get to the point where I needed my cleanup crew. Okay, let's move on to 449. So this one I've got a note that you may want to switch out the plague throwers. So we'll show you why here in just a minute. But we've got our earth elemental here with a draining spirit tagged on, so that all this stuff can converge on that. There's a bunch of fire knights, a bunch of ember fiends, and a couple of phoenixes in the front. So that's all going to converge on this earth elemental and start taking consistent damage from the draining spirit. They are chaos units, so it does take a little bit longer, but that's not a huge deal. Then I think there's a Valkyrie up here at the top that's going to be supporting the earth elemental and keeping it alive as long as possible. And then these risen warriors are going to pop up in the back and take care of all of the ember fiends. They're also going to buy more time because we've got our cleanup crew in the back here. The plague throwers, they do great at getting the plague introduced, but they end up kind of inching forward as they go, and that sucks some of these units over, and they end up dying. So you might consider instead doing group of plague bearers up front here that'll tag the plague on and get it spreading, and then maybe just do a crystal spire or a group of archers or something. So that's the theory. Let's go ahead and watch it in action. Okay, yes, there is a Valkyrie hidden there behind the artifact slot. And plague is spreading. There goes the Ember Fiends. And now it's just a matter of clearing through. Now you see those plague throwers, they kind of keep inching forward. And that's where we get some split offs that cause a problem. So Crystal Spire may not be ideal because it'll already be in this vicinity. You might do better with regular archers to do some focus fire and to kill any units that get close. So that would be my suggestion. I'd drop the plague throwers, put a set of plague bearers right here to introduce the plague, and then a group of archers in the back. Okay, so that's 449. Let's move on to 450. All right, 450. Okay, repulsive smell. So we're going to do another delay build. This time we're using a Phoenix instead. So there's a couple of plague throwers here in the back. We're not too terribly concerned about those because we've got our barrier monk. There's a whole bunch of plague bearers, which is why we're using the Phoenix so that we can get burn applied to those. The draining spirit does less damage to the chaos units, so it's not super ideal, but it works better than a crystal spire, which would probably get hit by the plague throwers. The Risen Warriors I've got to, again, delay and suck units towards the top of the map, which forces them to go through the entangling roots. And then we've got the Arcane Archer and the Crystal Spire as the cleanup crew once Frenzy hits to kill anything that approaches. Okay, there we go. Let's let it run. Okay, Draining Spirit attached. Phoenix applying burn. It does catch some stuns and it does get plagued, so it does slow down the speed. But that cone of attack on the burn is just so fantastic that even though it's a slow attack, it is applying it on a regular basis. Okay, so now Crystal Spire is going to start earning its keep. Barrier Monk doing a great job blocking all of the Plague Throwers projectiles. And now we're closing in on Frenzy. There it goes. So from here on out, it's going to be real easy to just nuke the crap out of anything that comes in range. You'll notice those Plague Bearers die almost instantly when they come in range. You don't even see the Barrier Monk's bubble begin to crack, so you should be safe using that Barrier Monk. And poof, there it goes. All right, so that takes us through 450. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe. And check out thecommandtable.com. We'll be adding some new stuff there over time. I'm going to be doing some written articles and tutorials and stuff like that. And we'll have some other fun stuff as time goes on. So thank you for supporting the channel, and we will have more content for you soon. Thanks for watching.